We're going to talk about the human seeding, the human vessel, how it came to be. This is from Illuminati Hidden Agenda. The book can be found at sourcehypnotherapyhealing.com, completely free. It's chapter 7. Where do humans come from? Earlier in the book, we mentioned that the dark ones, how they had a head start taking on the physical vessel. Now, the light ones were leaving higher planes of existence. We already spoke about source and how mother. Now this is not nor male or female, but mother for better describes it because it is the creation, the great creator. So mother, we have sparks of energy, sparks of consciousness, sparks of soul that are dropping down and going down a process called involution. And this is all done in what we call the matrix. Now, the chapter's talking that we're going to talk about, again, is about the human vessel. So when you're dropping down, you have different, and this is all part of an oscillation which comprises of the matrix. The densities, which really don't exist, are just different portions of oscillation within this great oscillation, which is which altogether composes all the different densities within the universe. Now, the lower and lower you get, the less and less energy you take into the vessel. So you have these sparks of consciousness here, and then they fractal off and they'll have experiences down here. And then these will fractal off and have experiences down here. But and so all the way down, let's just say here is where the humans are in a 5th density. We see that these, when you follow it up, all of the energies, all of the consciousnesses, even when you go beyond and you come back all the way to source, we're all part of source. We are all multidimensional. Our energies are multidimensional, having different experiences on different planes of existence. It's just this vessel here, this human vessel, we've already spoken about that. So this human vessel, the disparity of frequency between this vessel holding this energy here is so great to the one up here that your brain cannot comprehend the knowledge. So hence the veil of forgetfulness, hence not remembering. Now obviously with inner work you're able to bridge up 1, possibly 2 or so densities. Again, the densities we've created to give a definition of different parts of the whole, but it's all together. So where did they come from? I just needed to just recap on that. The Lyra constellation. So let me delete this, and as we were just showing, involution, going down, light ones, they wanted to take a physical form. So the Patal, which were higher density beings, seeded the physical form of a bipedal 5-star, which is 2 legs, 2 arms, and a head, bipedal, walking on 2 legs, physical form that can hold a large amount of energy. So that way these fractals of consciousness of energy can incarnate in these vessels, so they could have a physical experience for an incarnation. Lyra is where the star constellation, and if you know what a star constellation, for instance, if you're not familiar, our Earth constellation, we have a sun, and then we have planets that orbit around it. This is Sol. Our star is Sol. So that is what a constellation is. So Lyra has a same setup. You have a star, right? Some have 2 stars. Some, so don't worry about the composition and the amount of planets and whatnot. But Lyra is a constellation of stars. So let's just say these are here. Maybe I should put stars. Right? And then you have planets that orbit the solar these suns, and together they make this grouping will make a constellation. So within the constellation of Lyra, you have You have 6 stars. Okay? So and these are stars giving with planets around them. One more. So you have stars. So this is Lyra constellation. One of these stars, let's say this one, is called Vega. Vega star. This is a star system or solar system. This is the constellation with the stars together with its planets, which would be Lyra. Lyra would be all of this. And then Vega is this star with the planets orbiting that star. On one of these planets is where the seeding happened, where the Patal seeded the planet with the first bipedal 5-star form vessel, and they're called Lyrian. It's the oldest known in our quadrant. Of course, there could be other information that comes from other planes of existence, other quadrants. But as far as many speculate, the Lyrian vessel is the first, the oldest bipedal human type of vessel that was used, that was purposely made and used for the incarnation, for higher density soul, sparks of soul to incarnate in. Now, the seeding happened, and now, so now you have, so what happened was the Patal, and now there's a lot of different variations, or there's some that try to put out misinformation about the Patal being, and that's what the controllers do. They twist the history so that way it keeps everyone off track. So there's ones that have put out misinformation campaigns about the Patal. Here, this is Lyra. So you have the Patal, who come from a higher density. They need to make the human vessel, the Lyrian vessel, which have evolved throughout the time and are physically different than what we would consider as a human that we see on Earth, a typical Earth-born human. From the outside, you probably wouldn't be able to tell. Some are very fair-skinned. But long story short, the Patal went to the Urma, from what I gather, which is a race, a physical race that was even older. They were already being, the vessels were already being used for light ones to incarnate in. The Patal took a portion of the Urma DNA to make the Lyrian vessel when they seeded the planet in Vega. Okay? Now, this is this Lyrian form, first human type of form, evolves through the years, and eventually, after DNA tinkering and adding DNA from other races, we have the human form. We have the human vessel. From what I understand, humans, and there's ones that disagree or agree, but it's approximately 11 to 12 different extraterrestrial DNAs mixed into the human to make the human DNA, which would be the form, the vessel that we see. What's special about it is the wide range of emotions of this form. With time, we obviously see that there were other vessels that were around. We know that there was the reptilian. We already spoke about them. We had a Urma. We had the Carians. We had races, and they mixed everything. They had a mix, used 11 to 12 different DNAs to make the human vessel. So now what happens? Why was this one special? We know that about the reptilian form. The range of emotion is limited, and emotion is everything. When it comes to mental state equals frequency. So let's draw this frequency oscillation here. Now, let's just say the reptilian form vessel can operate within this parameter. This portion. Now you have other forms, but let's just say the human form has a wide range of emotion, and their vessel, their body can operate within these lower rankings, which we have seen the horrors and low frequency acts that humans can make and do, but we can ascend and reach very high levels with this physical form without having to change physical form with this body. Obviously, the controllers have dumbed it down, introducing heavy metals to make sure that our frequency stays low, indoctrination, but that's not what this video is about. That's what makes us special, that we can take with our physical form, we can take and operate and have an experience within a larger portion of the frequency that makes up the universe, the matrix. We can go and have a very low existence, have an existence where obviously we see things that are horrible, raised to a point where as the Lyrians, where they could manifest almost immediately nature, growth from their plants. They could leave their body and turn into pure energy, so on and so forth. That's what I mean. That vessel, the human vessel, is quite special, multi-dimensional, literally. So to wrap it up, the seeding happened. Obviously, the Lyrians started with time. We're going to get later in the book We're going to talk about the expansion, the Great Wars, the Great Expansion, and